about to go live. Get with it. Sit back. Listen to me spit it. Word up, word up. Alright. Get strapped in. Let's glow. Let's go. Peace. What's happening, good people? It's Gift here for Pay Us No Mind. And today, man, we running through some news, right? This publishers suing Spotify. And what's that all about? Google's music AI. Yeah, they're getting in the game. You know, I mean, they were already in the game. Now they're just getting more in the game. So we're going to talk about that. Also, you know, this Apple Music partnership program, which I really find interesting, man, to say the least. We're going to run through that right quick. Yeah, man. So y'all know how this go. I run my mouth about the topic at hand for the first 10, 20 minutes. Then we get into the live chat where everybody get to ask questions, share their thoughts, comments, opinions, all of that good stuff. You know, if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. If you have, click the bell icon so you can get notified the next time we go live. Also, click that link in the description box so you could join us on Substack. And also in that description box, you will find links to products and services we recommend, as well as discounts. Now, as usual, I'm gonna check the system, make sure we're good to go. Then we're gonna dive into the topic at hand, good people. Now, while I do that, you guys can check out a message from my sponsor. This distribution to specialty stores, including Audio Mac and SoundCloud, YouTube and social media monetization, music video distribution, and publishing administration, all in one destination. Want to know more about DPM distribution? Click the link in the description box. Yeah, man. So, what should we talk about first? I guess we go in the order of the headline, right? The title. So we're gonna go to this Google AI thing. All right. Let's check that out. So I don't know. Like when you see that they get like established artists to sell this stuff, I wonder if like these artists have just kind of like said to themselves, like, well, the jig is up, the game is over, it is what it is. We might as well get what we can get out of it and move on, right? Or whether they're like genuinely really into this stuff, you know, or whether they just got cut a check by Google or something. So you look at this and it says, Google unveils music AI sandbox with the help of Wyclef Jean, Justin Tranter, and Mark Rebelit. And they say Google and YouTube have unveiled a suite of new music tools dubbed Music AI Sandbox with the help of rapper producer Wyclef Jean, songwriter Justin Tranter, and electronica creator and YouTube personality Mark Rebelit. A new promotional video shows the 3 music creators experimenting with the new tool, which Google describes in a blog post as designed to open a new playground for creativity, allowing people to create new instrumental sections from scratch, transform sound in new ways, and much more. The video shows an interactive screen that allows users to create music clips with text inputs and a text field titled Describe Your Track. This is also a text field title, or there is also a text field title, Sounds You Don't Want, and an optional field for lyrics. The video also shows AI-generated clips being inserted into longer musical pieces and a waveform music editor. So, I mean, this is different from the platform that we talked about previously, which was, I forget the name of it, but that was more like you type in a text prompt and it creates a complete song, and it doesn't really give you a whole lot of ability to edit anything. This, the way that they're describing it, is like you could make a song. And you know how sometimes you want a hook, like a singing hook, but you can't sing and you don't know no singers? You could basically communicate to the AI and have it create the kind of singing hook or whatever that you want. Gene, Tranter, and Rebelit have released demo tracks on their YouTube channels showcasing the technology's capabilities. In the promo video, Wyclef Jean says the tools are capable of speeding up the process of what's in my head, getting it out. You're able to move at light speed with your creativity. He describes this process of, so it's like, hold on, let me see something, because they got a video on this. Let me see. Yeah, so you can see you can hear my screen. So let me see if I could play this.
I'm gonna put this right back into the Music AI tool, the same boom, 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 boom. What happens if Haiti meets Brazil? Dude, I have no clue what's about to be spread out. This is what excites me. As a hip-hop producer, we dug in the crates. We playing these vinyls, and the part where there's no vocal, we pull it, we sample it, and we create an entire song around that. So now I'm virtually digging in the crates, right? Because it's spitting it back to me, and I'm able to look for the get down. And now I cut the part that I want, and I incorporate it inside of a song. So right now we digging in the infinite crate. It's endless.
Let's do G sus2, D major over G, back to C major over G.
Someone like me who is not a new school producer, to be able to hear the things I hear in my head and actually be able to achieve it because the AI tools will let me speak the language that I speak as a songwriter, that is very exciting to me. To inspire what me and Blush write, I'd love to like get more like atmospheric, weirder prompts, like Paris Fashion Week 1986.
Can we?
Okay, great.
Love that. Yeah. I want to hear.
All right. So, I mean, you get a taste of how they're describing it. Now you look at this blog post about it, because they don't really have like a web page dedicated to it. They just have this blog post kind of like glossing over everything that Google is doing in AI. And they got our most capable video generation model. So it's like how ChatGPT, the people behind them, OpenAI, I believe their name is, how they have Sora. Google apparently is working on a video generation AI as well. And this stuff would allow people to make AI generated music videos, you know, all sorts of stuff. And they use Donald Glover and say he used it to generate some type of promo for them. Imagine 3, they have their own image generation. And then here they talk about the music thing, our collaborations with the music community as part of our continued exploration into the role of AI, into the role AI can play in art and music creation. We're collaborating in partnership. So it's like, I mean, listen, man, hold on. When it comes to this stuff, it's like, for me, it's like training your replacement. Because yes, there are good aspects of AI where, yeah, you can make better music with less resources. But that's a part of the problem too. So it's like, it's okay for an artist like me where I'm like, all right, well, I want Brazilian drums and all this other stuff. I don't know a Brazilian drummer. I don't have the money to fly one in. But for an artist like Wyclef Jean, who has the money and has the resources to collaborate with drummers and all sorts of people, to say, yeah, you know what? Not gonna do that. I'm gonna use this program and eliminate all of these jobs, you know? And then on top of that, it's like inevitably other people that aren't of the skill level of Wyclef Jean will use it too, to create tons of music. And for me, that oversaturation of the market is what is the real problem. Because, and I've said this before, so I'm gonna reiterate it. It's not a problem from a creative standpoint, because people live lives and we have certain advantages over AI. It is a problem from the commercial standpoint, money-wise, you know, where you have everybody just throwing up music and it ain't bad, which creates a climate to where you don't look like you have superpowers no more. So right now, somebody asks a singer to sing, that singer sings, they sound great. It's almost like that person met a superhero. They like, oh my God, look how amazing you are. But if everybody they meet can sing, then it doesn't seem like, oh my God, you're doing anything all that great. And that's the same thing with being able to rap or being able to play an instrument or anything like that. It's like, well, I've seen this a million times. Nothing special about it. Like we see it when we watch these shows like American Idol and stuff like that, where they're used to seeing singers come and go and instrumentalists come and go. So their judgment of people with these abilities are different from our judgment because they're just so used to seeing it. And it's not anything to write home about to them anymore. So that's what we're talking about doing to music fans on a mass scale. And that, I feel like, is what can really become problematic, you know? But yeah, man, moving on to this music publishers suing Spotify issue. Like, yeah, what's that about? So here you look at this, right? They talking about music publishers threaten Spotify with legal action over lyrics, podcasts, music videos. This is kind of wild, right? So you see this, they talk about music publishers appear to be on the verge of suing Spotify, alleging that the platform is infringing their copyrights through the widespread use of unlicensed musical works. music business worldwide has obtained a sternly worded legal letter from the US-based National Music Publishers Association sent to Spotify today on behalf of the National Music Publishers Association members. Amongst other things, the letter accuses Spotify of not obtaining licenses for the use of lyrics on its platform. Those licenses would typically be granted by the NMPA's members, including prominent indie publishers, plus the three majors: Sony Music Publishing, Warner Chappell, and Universal Music Publishing. So they demand in its letter that any unlicensed lyrics, music videos, and podcasts available on Spotify be removed from the platform, or Spotify will face copyright liability for continued use of these works. Within the letter, they state, and their general counsel states, that it has come to our attention that Spotify displays lyrics and reproduces and distributes music videos and podcasts using musical works without the consent of or compensation to the respective publishers and or administrators, in other words, their members, who control the copyrights and the musical compositions. Now, they're not wrong. So it's like, Spotify displays lyrics on their platform. I don't know anybody that's ever been paid for the display of those lyrics, which you are supposed to be, but they do it. And all of these platforms do it. And you have all of these lyrics websites, but how many of us have ever gotten a check for the usage of our lyrics, or in any of these places where our lyrics are displayed? You might know somebody. I sure don't. So now they're making a fuss about it, and also talking about podcasts and videos, which are basically video podcasts, and explaining that if somebody does a podcast and they let's say you give somebody permission to use your music as the intro to their podcast, Spotify owes mechanical royalties for the usage of your music in that podcast. Even though you have an agreement with the podcaster, Spotify itself is responsible for paying mechanical royalties and performance royalties and things of that nature. But they don't, because they assume that if it's a podcast, I guess it floats under different rules. I'm not sure. But these guys are saying, no, you're supposed to pay us for that, and you're not paying us for that. Now, why make a fuss about it? Why make a fuss about this now as opposed to all of this time ago when it wasn't an issue? And the reason for that is this right here. They're making a fuss about it because Spotify is doing a bundle where they're bundling music and audiobooks and all of this other stuff. And as a product of that bundle, they want to pay songwriters lower royalty rates. So you see here it says Spotify's music audiobook bundle means a lower royalty rate for US songwriters, but company promises record payouts. Now they say Spotify's premium plans combining music and audiobooks will mean a lower mechanical royalty rate for songwriters on those plans, the company has confirmed, although it claims that earnings for creators will continue to rise. So they might be feeling like creator earnings will rise because they predict that people will be more likely to subscribe if they're getting more for their money. So that's one justification for it. The other justification for it could be the expectation that they are going to raise prices and create a higher premium tier where it costs more money for you to have access to audiobooks, music, and all of this different type of stuff. So more money is coming in from the subscription fee, so there's more money to go around. So they lower the royalty rate, but you get a lower percentage of a higher number, so you still end up making more money. And that might be how they're looking at it. But who knows whether that will happen or not. The only guarantee is that songwriters will make less, and songwriters ain't having it, or the union that represents them ain't having it. They're like, yo, you're not lowering the rate. You know, that's not something that they're trying to allow to happen. Now, there was something I came across, man, about like an Apple Music partnership. And I think it's for like digital distributors and labels that have like direct deals with Spotify or Apple Music rather. But I'm definitely looking and trying to get access to it. And I'll show you guys why in a minute. Yeah. So you see this here? Introducing the Apple Music Partner Program. And you see here, it's like access more tools to break the next talent, spot emerging trends, and uncover new insights about your content. So going over the details of it, they say, uncover a deeper look at the global music landscape to help you break new acts at home and abroad. Leverage tools to maximize new release exposure, promote new releases, and optimize your next marketing campaign. Access a premium suite of innovative tools and exclusive events to navigate today's music industry. Find support and priority responses from a dedicated Apple Music team. So they're giving you like access to people that can like help you, I guess, carry out certain objectives within Apple Music. So you look and you say, okay, find out which artists and songs are making waves. Monitor more than 40,000 radio stations from over 200 countries and regions with radio spins. Now, this is something that to me is valuable because for one reason is there's mad radio stations all around the world. And some of us get spins on these radio stations, and your music don't have to be massively popular for that to happen. And doing by being able to identify where your music is getting radio airplay, you can kind of identify areas where you got something buzzing, man, and people might be rocking with you in that area on a level that's not translating to streams because maybe they don't use streaming platforms or something like that. So that's one way that this is helpful. Another way this is helpful is being able to kind of investigate people with similar sounds to you and at similar levels to yours to see if those radio stations might be open to playing your music. So if you are an underground hip hop artist that's unsigned and you know of other artists that are underground hip hop artists that are unsigned as well, but they have a more recognizable name, you could run searches for those artists and see if they're getting radio spins. And whatever stations they getting spins on, you could reach out to and see if they'll give your record some burn. So they say access airplay monitoring from around the world to discover what's spinning, when and where, all in one place. Explore spins by market, time of day, station, artist, and song, and create custom airplay reports with the Radio Spins API to understand consumption, reach, and impact. Like, yo, man, this is valuable information. I wonder if Chartmetric is going to tap into it. You know, somebody's going to utilize it in some creative way. Some of these different platforms, I wonder how they're going to integrate it. Chart Explorer. Discover who's climbing the charts on Apple Music. Browse more than 4,500 genre, storefront, and city charts from around the globe by song and album with Chart Explorer. With the near real-time data and chat depths up to 1,500, you can spot the next hit before it breaks into the top 200. And with Apple Music historical charts, you can track and celebrate milestones with your artists and their fans. Now, this is another interesting thing because I've had a number of artists that I've worked with chart through iTunes and on Apple Music because it's a big world out there. So you got countries that don't have a real robust, I guess, audience for certain genres of music. And your genre, within your genre, you might be able to chart in those countries. So I've had people chart and small countries around the world, you know, marketing for them and stuff like that. So this is another good thing to have access to. An authoritative source of music information. Put a global music catalog at your fingertips with Music Atlas. Browse more than 100 million recordings and 35 million albums from over 15 million artists. With Music Atlas, you can quickly visualize the relationships among recordings, performers, and works. You can also browse recording credits and discographies to help make more informed decisions like never before. Now, this one right here is something that I'm really interested in. And they say measure and fine tune your campaigns. Campaign links, which are like Smartlinks, where you drive traffic to a smart link where people can click a link to go to Apple Music to stream your music. So they're saying campaign links take the user to your content in Apple Music and allow you to measure the performance of each of your marketing channels. Get the numbers on how many listeners discover an artist or re-engage as a result of your campaign. Measure the impact of digital marketing and perfect your strategy. And you can do it all without compromising user privacy. So, yeah. So that campaign feature right there is critical. And I know digital distributors, a lot of them are dumb, being frank. They are not going to incorporate these features into their offering and provide this information to artists. So if anybody incorporates it, it's probably going to be Chartmetric, which is going to charge for access to it, or it's going to be like a SmartLink provider, which again is going to charge for access to it, where you're going to have to pay them a monthly fee or whatever. But it would be really smart for digital distributors to provide access to this information. So it's like all of these digital distributors want to provide you with smart links. They want to say, hey, we give you store links when you distribute your music. You know, you can automatically get this page that traffics people to Spotify, Apple Music. But those pages are effectively worthless because they don't give you no tools with them. So it's like most of these digital distributors and those smart link pages they give y'all, you know, you can't patch in no pixels. You know, there is no type of advanced tracking. You can't patch in Google Analytics or nothing. So it's like, at the least, if they allow you to be able to run a campaign and then match the performance on the streaming platforms to the campaign, where you can say, hey, I was advertising on Facebook or running this particular ad on Facebook, and here's what I got from it, 1,000 streams on Apple Music, then that goes a long way. But we'll see, because they always not doing the things that they should do, right? Making the silliest of decisions. But yeah, man. And this thing right here is another thing that interests me. Now, this is like a Song Trust competitor, but different. So it's like they talk about where music and technology unite. So effectively, you look at what they're offering and they're like copyright licensing. Whether you are an author, publisher, producer, or label, performer, or band, or you wear many hats at once, we can offer you the following services. Copyright licensing, that's basically policing your copyrights. Administration, again, policing your copyrights. Distribution, all of these services boil down to pretty much what SongTrust does. Now, the difference between this Broma 16 and SongTrust is direct deals. So let me break down why that's important. So what a company like SongTrust does is it operates as a third party. So you have Harry Fox Agency, which collects mechanical royalties. And then you have SongTrust, which collects your mechanical royalties from Harry Fox Agency. And you have the Mechanical Licensing Collective, which collects mechanical royalties. And you have SongTrust, which collects mechanical royalties from the MLC. And they do that with all of the rights collection societies around the world. those companies, they register you with them. Your music, they collect the royalties or the mechanical royalties for the usage of your music, and then Song Trust collects the royalties from them. Now, there are multiple reasons why you would rather that not be the case. One is delays in payment. So you got the time it takes for the first party company to receive those royalties. And then you got the time it takes for them to get that, for them to move that money to Song Trust, and then the time it takes for Song Trust to move that money to you. And the next thing is the percentages. So you look at something like Harry Fox Agency. They take 15% of the revenue of the music or the royalties that they collect. And Song Trust takes 15% of the royalties that they collect. So if you combine what something like Harry Fox Agency takes and what Song Trust takes, that's 30% of revenue that you're losing. Now, all of these rights collection societies around the world, they all take a percentage of revenue for their operating costs. So PRS or whatever, they take 15%, 20%, whatever have you. It's their fee combined with Song Trust fee, and then you get whatever's left over after that. Now, options wise, there were no options really outside of Song Trust when it came to global mechanical royalty collection. You got the MLC now, which is free. They don't take anything, but it's only for the US. And then with the people that run it, there's an extreme conflict of interest, because if you can't register your work, they get to keep the money that they owe you. So it's like, well, how effective are they going to be at policing the music and making sure people get paid when they keep the money? You know, so they're not all that motivated to do things the right way and in an efficient way. So you got that issue there with them. So Song Trust was like the only option. And you had TuneCore Publishing, but I'm not the biggest fan of tying distribution with publishing, because we bounce around. You might decide I don't want to use TuneCore anymore. I want to use CD Baby now. But hey, now you got all of your publishing there. How's that work? You know, you don't like them, whatever the service is, but now, you know, people get kicked off of these platforms for streaming fraud and stuff like that. It's like, well, they kicked you out for streaming fraud. Do you still want to stick with them for your publishing administration? Likely not, right? You feeling like screw them. You want to move on to another company. So it's great to keep those things separate. And all of these companies are now offering publishing administration with digital distribution. But me personally, I'd avoid it, because those things are best kept secret. I mean, not secret, but best kept separate. You don't want to mix your publishing and your digital distribution, because that makes it harder to break up. It's like having a girlfriend versus having a wife, where you want to leave your girlfriend, you say, hey, it ain't working out, I'm out. And that's the end of it. You want to leave your wife, you got to get a divorce. You got to go through divorce proceedings. People got to be paid alimony. You got to lose your house. All sorts of stuff happens with that. So when it comes to separating from a digital distributor and you have your publishing there, it's far more difficult to do. And that's probably why a lot of them want to introduce it as a part of their package, because the deeper they integrate you into an ecosystem, the harder it is for you to leave. So it's like you have people who might stick around and with a distributor they're not thrilled about and would rather leave, but because they just have all of this stuff there, they just like, all right, I guess I gotta just grit and bear it, because I don't want to like take the time to move everything over to somebody else. But yeah, this Broma 16 thing, they don't really, it's not a lot of transparency yet. So where Song Trust is like, give us $100, we'll take 15% of your revenue. Broma is like, we charge a fee. What's the fee? I don't know. Right? So I'm in the process of like signing up, and I'm gonna see what it's about. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, when it comes to royalty collection, there's a lot of confusion, I would say, because all of these companies pop up and artists don't really understand who they should be registered with. So you got music reports and artists are like, okay, do I need to sign up here to make sure that my royalties are collected? And then you got Song Trust, and then you got Centric, and then you got TuneCore Publishing, which is just a bundle of Centric. They use Centric to provide TuneCore Publishing. And then you got, or you had, CD Baby Pro, which bundled in Song Trust. And then you got Sound Exchange. And then you got Harry Fox Agency and the MLC. And the artists are like, okay, register. And a lot of times they be registering with all of these companies that overlap and kind of do the same thing. So it's like Song Trust collects from all of them. So you register with them, you're good for the most part. Outside of Sound Exchange, they collect from everybody. But artists be registering with all of these companies thinking that they need to do it. And even in the sense of like TuneCore Publishing and stuff like that, it's confusion around when they're getting paid for sound recordings versus publishing royalties, things of that nature. And I would say this, man, you know, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing from the standpoint that people get small doses of information on the internet. So somebody might write a book about publishing. The artist goes and looks at that book. They say $20 for a book. I'm not buying that. People talking about it for free online. I'm gonna go look up a YouTube video. Then you have somebody run through it on YouTube and you say, got it. I understand now. And then you run off with that small piece of information and think you know everything you need to know. And then you end up missing money because you don't know. And you don't want to pay for the books that teach you. You don't want to hire the people to help you. So you just end up hemorrhaging cash, right? So it's like, yeah, man, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, man, because people just don't want to accept that they don't know and reach out to get the help to really sort out whatever it is the challenges are, or just to have somebody look over your stuff to make sure that it's what it needs to be, rather than finding out the hard way after 3 years where your royalties, you lose access to them because now basically they passed the deadline and you can't get paid no more. Word, yo. But let me see who in the building, man. And shout folks out right quick and tap out. Word up. So we got Starman Media. What's good, brother? Angelo TV was good. DPM Network, my guy, was good, man. And I'm going to shout out Long Distance Traveler. He gets an honorary shout out, man. And my man Kensei, Babyface, Peerless, all of those guys, man. I always love you guys, man. Always tapping in. Word up, yo. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. As always, we got links in the description box to products and services we recommend. You know, if y'all want to hit me up, you can on Instagram. That's at Pay Us No Mind on Instagram, at Pay Us No Mind on Twitter, Pay Us No Mind on Substack. Link in the description box to join us there. payusnomind@gmail.com if you want to email me. This is Gift signing off. Pay Us No Mind. Peace, good people. One. Y'all be good out there.